That's because I muted myself for the outro to play on the Silhouette game and forgot to unmute it after we were over. I was just saying, I read your comment and then I said, "How are you doing today?" Good thing my, like pictures up here, or my, what, you know, my face, because if I'm talking and people see I'm talking and no words come out, or they can't hear any words, then they know there's something wrong with the audio. That's why I think it's always good to have something up over your face. I've been doing a lot better since power came on around midnight. Ah, well, that's good. Did you get any work done on the game? Oh, and metal. Not next Thursday, but the Thursday after, because since I'm going to be out of town for the week, basically, or most of the week. I'm not doing the Silhouette game next week because I'll be getting back on Thursday, which probably won't leave me much time. But can you help me do a manga anime episode for it for like 2010 to 2019? So we've got like about 2 weeks to do it. Oh, hello. How are you? I'll let you answer that in the chat.
I'm doing all right at this ungodly hour from my perspective.
There we go. Now you're in my. Now you're just in my head. Not, and well, I guess on air so people can hear you.
I'm in many people's heads. Some completely unrelated to watching this stream. So
Yeah. Uh, and is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I think it varies. All of them are good for me. You know, I think it's great to live rent free in people's heads. For them, though, I think that varies.
Yeah, I could see that. The thing is, you're not in my head most of the time, so only usually
It's
when
probably good for
you're
you.
Only usually when I'm on air, and then you know, come on.
Or you get that random notion. It's like, I've got a thing I want Metal to edit for me.
Yeah. And then it's just more okay. Metal, can we get together for this time? And then it's done till well, maybe an hour or so before. I'm like, okay, I got to remind Metal or something like that, or make sure he's still able to.
I think I've come to the conclusion I need to be more vitriolic online.
Okay,
I miss having haters. Back when I was in school, I had haters all the time, and it was great. I don't really have haters these days.
yeah. Hey, Alpha, Alpha
I
does
haven't
yeah.
peeved enough people.
You haven't peeved enough people. Hey, yeah,
No,
maybe
not to be
they'd come to
satisfied.
maybe they'd come to a stream and give you some views, eh?
Oh yeah.
Yes, that's it. Come to my stream. Give me more views. Make me more popular. You know, weaponize the haters for your whatchamacallit, enjoyment. Enjoyment's probably not
Benefit?
quite.
Well, actually, it would be more for my entertainment, but I could also for my benefit too.
Yeah. No, and Alpha, I'd say it's probably 99.9% confirmed that Lorenzo has passed on, and that was around March 8th, if I remember the obituary that I saw correctly offhand.
Which would be literally one day after the last message I sent him.
Oh, wow.
Though I think it would be 3 days after the last one he sent me. I think there was like a gap in between that.
Yeah.
But I remember the day exactly because uh, he played Honkai Star Rail because I got him into it, and on March 7th, I always send a little dancing GIF of the character March 7th to everybody I know who plays Star Rail.
Okay. I'll say why. Did you send one to me? I've played it a little bit, I think.
No, you played Genshin. Yeah, I don't think you ever touched Star Rail.
Okay.
Or if you did, I was not aware if you ever touched Star Rail, which is probably why I didn't send one to you.
Yeah. I could have sworn I downloaded it. Maybe I didn't touch it nowhere near as much Genshin Impact, for sure.
Yeah, but the answer as to why is because her name is March 7th.
Uh,
And that's kind of like the official Star Rail day, because of the one of the main characters of the game's name is March 7th.
okay. Cool.
And yep,
So,
that was the last message I sent him. That was it.
sort of like May the 4th.
Yeah. Or like March 10th is Mario Day because it's Mar-EO.
Okay.
Because the 10 makes the IO.
Oh, okay. And then, of course, Star Wars has the next day, too. Revenge of the 5th. As March, May 4th and May 5th. As far as I'm concerned, anyways.
I don't think they ever do anything specifically for that, but yeah, that's pretty common among fans.
Yeah, like, as soon as I heard about, May the 4th, or almost as soon, it's like, okay, yeah. And then there's Revenge of the 5th. To me, it just made sense.
You know, No, yeah, it makes sense to a lot of people. You're definitely not the first person I've heard that from. Actually, I'm pretty sure the first person I ever heard that from was my dad.
Okay. But then again, it's uh, okay. I got a question for Alpha because Alpha says, "Don't you know it's too early in the morning to color?"
I agree
When
with
it when is it not too early to color or too late?
you. Between operating hours of 9 a.m. and 5 p.m.
Okay, well it is like after 9 a.m. for me.
Oh, okay. So you're actually in the clear, just time zone problems. It's like 6:25 for me.
And Alpha's now thinking about my question. Now for Alpha, of course, it's an hour earlier than that. Because he's in the great state of Texas.
Yep, yeah. Give him the old earworm. He'll be in his head all day. But Texas used to have its own Dairy Queen commercials, and at the end of it, you'd hear DQ. Oh, that's what I like about Texas. Even though Dairy Queen's from like Chicago, like it has nothing to do with what you like about Texas. It's not a thing about Texas. We just also happen to have them there. That commercial always confused me.
Yeah, we have them in Canada too.
Well, I'm sure you're closer to their Chicago headquarters.
Yeah, probably. But
I
just
think they
because
are
we're
originally from the South. I think they're from Kansas, like the first one, but their headquarters have been in Chicago for like quite some time. I guess technically that's not the South. Kansas is the Midwest. South half of the country, but you don't call it the South.
yeah. Just looking for more grass. I think there's some grass. Colored area. I'm adding to some of the color. I don't. I don't even know what what I'm coloring what in this city. There's a lot to.
It is a very difficult thing to decide like how many colors that you actually need to do on that.
Yeah. Well, I've got a bunch of colors in here already, and I've separated them just so well, they're all on different layers, and I took a bunch out like so you couldn't see the layers, and I'm adding them in one by one again, but just going over it to just deal with that color instead of being overwhelmed with all the colors. If you know what I mean.
I mean, I know what you mean, but like, if it was me, this whole thing would be basically just gray. I mean, not like gray gray. I'm sure the slightly off gray brown that I would use is probably in this picture somewhere already. But like most of these buildings would all basically just be the same color. I would do the quickest color job of it looks good at a distance possible.
Yeah, leave it to me to make more work for myself. Well, it seems I really got Alpha stumped on that question. He hasn't said anything since.
Possible. Maybe he rage quit because I got that jingle stuck in his head. I showed those commercials to a bunch of my Newgrounds friends who like don't even live in Texas. I think I only have a friend who lives in Texas, and but they're all younger, so that commercial was probably before any of them would remember it anyway, even if they were in the area. Uh, and it's so goofy that we basically made an informal group holiday called Big Texas Tuesday, where on Big Texas Tuesday you have to say, "That's what I like about Texas."
Okay. Sounds good, I guess.
Yep, yep. Everybody remember to respect Big Texas Tuesday.
So is that every week or just, like
It's
once
every Tuesday. Texas is that important.
Sure, if you say so. Maybe if you're in the States, it's that important. Then again, maybe not.
Pretty important to people outside the states too. I mean, but it's considered Japanese. Texas is one of the few places they know about.
Yeah.
Anytime they draw an American, there's like a 1 in 3 chance it's a Texan. I think it's because people just like the cowboy aesthetic, you know? They
Yeah.
see like American stuff. They know westerns because western films were really popular, and westerns take place all over the West. But almost everybody
Thinks of
foreign
Texas.
knows of Texas, so western and Texas are just the same thing.
Yeah.
Even though very few westerns were ever shot in Texas, they were more often shot in California, in the hills just north of like Anaheim, or in Italy. Which is why they called them spaghetti westerns. They just pretended to be in the area.
Oh, like they do with
This
a
is
lot of
called
movies.
acting.
Yeah. Oh, okay, just said. Like a lot of movies.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I know my city, Hamilton, has been so many different cities, it's not funny.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah. Hamilton and Toronto both play that role, especially like we need an American city, but we cannot schedule to shut the streets down in like New York or something. But the day's open in Hamilton, so we're just gonna rent that weekend out to shut down a street for filming.
Yeah. Or they have the locations, or it's just easier because, it's cheaper too sometimes than, getting,
Yeah, but you're also competing against other people too, right? Like the bigger studio might be able to get an actual street in New York or a street in Toronto. Um, which I know is going to cost you slightly more than getting a street in Hamilton, which is
Yeah.
another reason why yours is probably realistically even busier than Toronto's is.
Yeah, like the area that I lived in before, well, for 28 years. Four Brothers was filmed in the area, like the house across the street from me
Yeah.
was the main house in the Four Brothers movie. Kick Ass, house where uh, the main guy lived in, was down the street from me. A different street, but you know, just sort of down the street, halfway down the street. So
Yeah, I know that at least I think it was like 5 of the scenes in Scott Pilgrim were actually in your city instead of Toronto because they just could not get Toronto areas for those scenes.
and then
Some of the main stuff was actually in Toronto, which I think is great since the comic takes place in Toronto, like the main house and the Battle of the Bands with Roxy and stuff like that. But they,
no.
just, they had to go to Hamilton because for some of the stuff they just couldn't get stuff for Toronto.
Yeah. Well, heck, even Shazam, the first one, had stuff filmed here in Hamilton.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, you know, like in the initial trailer, the scene in that store is in Hamilton, and just outside that store, where they're getting stuff after, you know, the beer and all that.
Yeah.
And I recognized it as soon as I saw it. Even heck, the remake of RoboCop had stuff filmed here in Hamilton. There's a lot of, you know, like, I can't say every place that's had it. If it's filmed here, I can usually recognize it, but there's places in Hamilton I don't know about, of course.
Yeah. Well, I can say that I grew up in the neck of the woods where one of the best TV shows ever made. Okay, probably not that high. At least top 100 TV shows ever made was filmed, and that's
Walker?
Walker, Texas Ranger. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely within the top 100, maybe even top 50, maybe top 20.
I don't know. There's a lot of TV shows.
Yeah, I know. But, you know, and that can be subjective too. You know. So, you know, our opinion.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it wasn't in the exact city. It was like a town or two over. It was shot mostly in Venus, Texas. But there's a really prolific bar fight scene in one of the episodes. It's probably like one that I think I've seen the clip on YouTube too that people watch a lot because it's a really good scene where he goes in and he kind of gets involved with a ruffian. And the bar in that scene is the Boxcar in Cedar Hill, Texas, which is the city I grew up in.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that before, and that's definitely cool for sure.
Yeah, they're doing a lot more filming in the Dallas area in general now, though. Like, they've always been pretty big on TV stuff, but not so much the movie scene. Unless, you know, it specifically needed to take place in Dallas, and, you know, same things would still happen. They'd get the scenes they can in the area, and then they'd go somewhere else for the rest of them if they can't get it.
Oh,
There's probably been
Oh.
movies where part of it was filmed in Dallas and part of it was filmed in Hamilton. I'm sure
Yeah.
those movies exist somewhere.
yeah. Well, here's another one. It was more made for TV movie. It was I forget what it was called, but it was one of the made for TV movies for the Bionic Man and the Bionic Woman.
Yeah.
It was there was one of those that was filmed here in Hamilton and Toronto, and I recognize a bunch of the places. Well, obviously there's the CN Tower in it, which is you know, I'd say really recognizable. Hey, Massive Panda. Uh, what's going on, Rick? Metal, how's it going? Not too bad. And if you haven't heard, Massive Panda, Lorenzo Sleestack passed away. It's been a few months. Most of us are just finding out now. But he passed away March 8th of this year.
I'm gonna miss that guy.
Yeah. I already missed having him around, and now it's like, now I know why he hasn't been around the last few months, and now I know that he's not going to be around for,
Yeah.
well, quite some time.
Like I said before, due to the way his health was, I kind of just got used to like maybe a week or two passing before he would send a message back or something sometimes.
Yeah.
But I got right around that exact same time, I guess, what would be like 2 weeks after that is when I first started preparing to work on this. I didn't go head deep into the tabletop RPG until I would say late April, but I was prepping to do it around
Oh,
that time, and I think I just got so caught up in everything that I didn't realize time was passing. Like 2 months passed, and it didn't even feel like 2 weeks for me.
yeah. And sometimes you just think somebody's taking a break, sometimes, like it was a couple months before he'd be in my, or 3 or 4 months sometimes that he'd end up in my thing. And then, all the messages going through on, the Sleestackian, sometimes you don't realize who's saying what and all that.
Yeah, I was used to
Yeah,
at least every couple weeks him messaging me because if we didn't have some other conversation, he would ask me stuff about Star Rail, like almost clockwork. He'd be like, "Oh, there's a new Star Rail thing. I haven't played in a while. Are there any events worth doing?" That's the very first question he would ask me every time. Are there any events worth my time doing? And I'd be like, "Okay, these are the ones that are you could get through quickly and give you good rewards." And then we
so,
talk for a little bit after that.
so he, uh, here is a picture Outcast did, for honoring Lorenzo with us doing it the other day. Uh, oh yes, I heard the unfortunate news on Asmat's channel. Yeah, I noticed. I hadn't seen him in chats in quite some time. Rest in peace, Lorenzo. Yeah, and I read the, I'm not sure whether I'd call it the obit, but could be the obit, and yeah, everything
It is like a
matched.
obit plus I would say it's probably more of a eulogy, but
Yeah,
sometimes people's obit are the full eulogy.
yeah. Well, I found two different sites, and the one was a lot more concise, didn't have a lot of that detail. So, and also, I think it might have been more the funeral site that I found that on, and I left a message on the board, like you did for my mom.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, no, this one here is done by Outcast Comics, massive. I actually did one too. There's mine, not shaded or anything. I did more of an altrusion because he said he was an altrusion, not a Sleestack.
Yeah, he was like a green altrusion that could pass as a slee stack.
And if anybody wants to do a Altrusion or a Slee Stack. I was thinking with Outcast doing that and sending it to me, maybe we could get a compilation of a whole bunch of people putting it together and do something with that. I'm not sure. But as I was also saying about the Lorenzo thing, and like I said, I left a note on it, saying, that I had him on stream and I was on his stream and that he would be, very much missed in the community. And then they also had like plant a tree in his honor, and I did that. I paid like whatever the money was for that. Something to
That's
do,
good, yeah.
something to do in honor, more than just draw an image. Especially since never got to meet his family or whatever, and I'm not sure whether they're gonna end up reading, my little blurb, you know. So, but it is what it is. And Massa says, "Heck yeah, man! I like both of these. Thanks for me and for Outcast."
Outcast.
Okay, I guess that looks good. I don't even know what that one's doing. That layer. Have to zoom out, I guess. Oh, I see where it's doing now, where it's... Oh, and on...
There, Rick.
Maybe eventually. And a massive... Finally, the Snowdrift Ashkin is done. And I'm actually going to be in the States tomorrow. Till Thursday. Going to Kingdom Bound. The Christian Music Festival at Darien Lake. In New York State. Okay, so... I think that's good. Okay. So much more to do.
I don't think I've ever been to a Christian music festival. I think the closest thing, I used to go to worship conferences for like teens and youths. Just had music at them.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say not quite the same. I've been
Definitely
to.
not the same.
This is, you know, a whole bunch of different Christian bands or artists.
No, I think I definitely would have preferred going to a music festival. Not that I didn't enjoy the worship conferences, but if you gave me the choice between the two,
Yeah. And I've been to Kingdom Bound before. It's been a few years, but Massive says, "Oh, nice. I hope you enjoy the festival. Sounds like fun. Good to hear you got Snowdrift done as well. I remember thinking the artwork for the comic looked really awesome. How many pages is it?" Well, this is the Ashcan, so it's only like 4 pages. It's available to read on Global Comics for free. Hopefully soon it'll be able to read on my website for free. I just haven't got around to doing that. Hopefully maybe later today, but I've got a lot of stuff to do before I, go away for almost a week.
man, I am so out of touch with like the Christian music scene. I looked at the lineup for this, and the only two people I recognize are Ben Fuller and Lena Crawford. That's it. I don't recognize any of these other artists or groups.
Yeah, well, Massive asks, are you familiar with any of the bands that are performing at Kingdom Bound? Only one, and that is for King and Country. And they are, I'm not sure whether you've heard of them, but Rebecca St. James's brothers.
Can't say I have, but they are like on the top row of listed attendees, so they must be one of the bigger draws.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So you've only heard of two of them as well, and two that I haven't heard of. Well,
Yeah.
the biggest problem for me for it is there used to be a bunch of or two or three Christian bookstores in my area. Now there's really not any.
Yeah.
You know, like I have to go to over a couple cities to get to, and it's not really easy. You know, before I'd go up, you know, just for sometimes something to do or looking for something in particular. And they'd have a music section and you could listen to some CDs for free, you know, and, you know, see whether you like this music or whatever. And well, they don't have that anymore. So,
I think for me, it's because I just don't hang out with Christian musicians on a regular basis like I used to.
yeah. Well, I definitely can see that being a thing for sure. Oh, why
I used
not?
to hang out pretty regularly with this guy. I don't know if you've heard of him. He was a the guy from Texas, obviously, named Preston McReynolds.
Doesn't sound familiar.
Yeah, I mean, he's gotten a little bit bigger, but I would still say he's probably in like the smaller to mid end, and you probably would only know him if you were like in the south to southwest U.S. So I wouldn't
Yeah.
expect so, but you know, hanging out with people like that, you hear other people's music.
Yeah. Well, like I said, it's been a while since I've been able to go to a Christian bookstore and do stuff like that. Listen, and he could be, you know, on the say charts or Christian charts or popular enough even to be in the area at a Christian bookstore. but there's not one really close enough for me to visit on a regular basis, or even a semi-regular
Yeah.
basis. So it
That
is
like
what it
thanks to
is.
the internet, there's so many that are popping up too for like any genre you can think of.
Yeah,
So that also includes Christian music. That like you there's not really as many like big exploding ones as there used to be. Like you don't really see many Chris Tomlins anymore, but
yeah,
there's also way more mid-level or size engagement people than there used to be.
yeah. And there is a Christian torrent site called Breathe the Word that I got a bunch of music from, but um, the problem is now, I'm not with the way that they're doing their downloads. They never seem to work for me.
Mm.
So I'm not sure why that is. You know, well, it could be one of two
See, I just
reasons.
wouldn't want to do that because then I'd feel like I need to find the individual artists and send them money.
You know, like if I could afford it, I'd probably go out and buy a lot of their CDs. You know, like
Yeah.
I'm going down with a couple $100 to this event, and I know I still owe you. And after I get back, if I have any money left, you're probably the first person I'm paying to catch up with you.
Yeah.
But I know you're probably not worried about that, you know. But so I'm probably gonna buy a few CDs and
I'm
that
not
while I'm done.
worried, but I could totally use it.
Yeah, I get that. And I know it's $100 Canadian for the one, and then probably going over the Toxico script. I'll probably oh, I gotta shut up.
Yeah, I don't like talking prices on air.
Yeah, and I know that's something you're not supposed to do.
Some
So
people
I,
like it. When you have like fixed prices and not variant prices, it's fine because you know it's kind of like a way of advertising your prices. The problem is when you do as many different things as me and you work with a bunch of different clients that you have different levels of relationships with, right?
yeah,
So you're willing to charge them differently. None of my prices are fixed, and if you start talking shop on air, people will start using that as like excuses to try to like weasel out and be like, well, I saw you gave this guy this price for this. I'm like, yeah, well, I've also known that guy for like I don't know a decade now. So how long
yeah,
have I known you?
yeah. And you know, how much do we do business? He's giving me so much business. It's not funny or something like that. You know.
Yeah.
Uh, uh, Massive says Rick's about to be broke like I was after Heroes gone. Ha 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 ha. Massive says, man, there's a lot of detail in this cityscape. You and your penciler are killing it. Rick looks great. Yes, actually, the penciler for this and inker is Alpha Proto from the chat.
Who we haven't seen since I mentioned spaghetti westerns.
Well, he did put in spaghetti emoji.
Yeah, that's how I figured out what was the last thing I said when he commented.
Yeah. Yeah, no, if only the cityscape was a lot easier to color. Oh, it could, and actually, yes, Metal pointed out earlier, it could be easier to color, but, you know, I like making things difficult on myself, and getting into a lot of the intricate detail, or somewhat intricate detail.
Oh, even at this scale too, right? 'Cause I'm thinking like what this looks like when you zoom out. I wouldn't even be doing the color as precise as this either. I'd be doing close enough. I would just take my paintbrush tool and I would just fill in different spots. And if there's some slight overlap, I wouldn't even care because nobody's gonna notice at full view.
Yeah. And part of me knows that, but part of me just doesn't care. Oh yeah, I forgot
Yeah,
this
there's like a
was-
real trick to that too, right? Like, cause sometimes you get like these little gaps in between where it's like, ah, man, the background color is gonna show through, right? The way to solve that is you just add more to the inks. You take the shape of the panel and behind all your other colors, you just fill it in black,
Yeah.
and then all the gaps are just now little black fills.
Masso says, "Oh yeah, I forgot. This was the one that Alpha Proto was working on. Great artist. He also did that short Canadian Shield Ashland. I think you meant Ashcan. That went out with your last campaign, right? Yes, that is correct. And I have that right here too. I'm actually going to be printing up a whole bunch more of those, bringing some comic books down with me. Got to make sure my Square is charged and I have my charger for it, because I'm obviously, well, maybe I'm really sad, I'm not sure. I'm going to try and sell some comics while I'm there too. But it's not the main point of it, but just get a whole bunch more people interested in my stuff, maybe. Massive says, I agree with Metal. I'm trying to consider new techniques that will speed up production on some of these more complex pages, since I spend way too much time on coloring. Yeah. Well, the thing is, right now I'm still in the middle of waiting for another page from Alpha. So
Gives
hopefully,
you something to do on stream.
yeah. And I've got all the other ones up to date. I need to go back, of course, and shade and light them all, everything. But, and, like, now I have also, I want to finish coloring the Canadian Shield Ashcan. And now, of course, I have the Snowdrift Ashcan to color too. Because once I get those 7 ones done, like I said, I want to compile them into a book and that's colored, and then have some sort of story go off from it eventually in the comics, which I have no idea when, because right now it's going to be a whole lot of time before the Warriors are actually formed, unless things speed up. And well, hopefully they will be speeding up very soon.
If more people buy more books, especially the backlogs, especially the digital ones that you don't have to spend on shipping, then you'll have more money to spend on getting people more books.
Yep, that's for sure. And although I love Alpha's work, and I'd love him to be on number 3 to this, I might get him on a further book. I might get him on number 4 of Snowdrift. And no fault to him. It's just with his day job, it takes up a lot of time, and that's all right. But if I want to get these out on a little bit more of a regular schedule, I need to have them be able to produce them faster, if you know what I mean. Although I need to have the money to pay the people, so it's that's been helping too. The fact that he has been doing these as fast as I would like, it means I haven't had to pay him as often, which is a good thing but a bad thing. It's just my money has dipped the last little while. I was off work for a month, but now I'm getting back and getting a little bit more hours. Although this next week I'm off work for a week, so now I'm just trying to
Yeah,
think
that's
what
gonna
else.
hit.
Although I'll be back for next Friday to start working, and I might do next Saturday as well, so I won't be doing my coloring show next Saturday. Just to get in an extra day. Normally I don't do the Saturday shifts,
You
but
don't pick up a Saturday shift.
yeah,
That's okay. If things go well, I'll be asleep at that time anyway.
yeah. Massive, yeah, I completely understand that a 9 to 5 job will eat up your time and make it hard for you to create. We just get it in when we can, I guess. Yeah. And of course, Alpha is an animator. He does animation for video games usually. He's also a voice actor. So,
Oh, that reminds me. I actually have all of the assets and stuff I need to put. Well, except for a logo, because I never made a logo for this series, and I need to do that before I can put it up. But to edit the dub for the Awesome Max short, it's all sitting
yeah.
on my computer. But the final parts got to me just after I started working on this TTRPG. So I'm like, sorry, other people who gave me voices. That's just going to be sitting there for a while. I don't have time to edit it. I have to
Yeah.
get this finished. Hey, but you know what? Phasma finally finished her, Corvid Kid 5th anniversary stuff, right? Which
Oh,
was a big thing holding back. So we've been back to work on the Dreamscape Dilemma, and we're like halfway
oh,
through the book now.
oh, that's good. And with
And
that, are you
so,
doing a crowdfunding for it, or how are you doing that to get it out
we're
there?
going straight to digital first on, well, I mean, you could buy the PDF directly from me if you want. But I'm gonna host it on places like Global Comics and stuff, so you could just go and buy it. And if there's enough of demand, then I'll chill out for say like the proof copy, and I'll go put physical on like Indie Planet or something.
Oh, okay.
But we're I wasn't planning on doing physical because this is a manga format. It's going to be eventually in volume form. I don't know if Phasma's going to be there for the whole run. We've already
Yeah.
talked about this. She definitely wants to be there for the second one because of the second chapter, because of some stuff that we talked about. Like she's excited to do it, but you know, I'm planning for it to be chapter equivalent to like a season of Digimon, right? So that's going to be 50 chapters total. And I told her, like, depending on how this goes, we might not even do chapter two if the first one's not successful enough. We're testing the waters here, right? But
Mm,
depending on how things go, she may not
mm.
want to stick around for 50 chapters. That's ridiculous. But she might, if it brings up enough money, she might be motivated to stay for the 50 chapters. But it'll be like 5 volumes of 10. I have the story written in like 5 volume kind of like divisions.
Yeah. Well, we'll
And
definitely try and have to promote that, like to a few different audiences, you know.
oh, yeah, yeah. I mean, we're already on, which people can check out. There's the X Animus Chaos Patreon, which I've been trying to update often enough. Um, but there's been such a gap in the Dreamscape Dilemma that I don't know if it would have been worth getting that tier anyway compared to other things.
Yeah.
Unless you got like the combined tier that gives you the normal EDK stuff plus that. It has to have its own tier, so like you keep track of like Phasma's cut of it, right? Because she gets 50% of anything for the books and stuff that she worked on.
Yeah.
But
Uh,
yeah.
uh, Massive says, Metal, is this a completely new story? I remember you had a comic strip up on Indie Planet a while ago. Is this the same title?
No. So on Indie Planet, God, I still need to set up the current chapter of X Dynamis Chaos that I finished recently up onto that one. But my main story is X Dynamis Chaos, which includes chapters 1 through 3, the first intermission, A Hymn of Valor, number 1, and chapter 4. All 5 of those are up on Indie Planet in physical form. And the first chapter of Realms and Relics is up on Indie Planet as well, which is X Dynamis Chaos is also technically the brand title too, not just a singular story. You know, kind of like Marvel Comics used to be a book before it was the name of the brand as well. Same with like Action and Detective Comics. Whatever. This is a different story. This is we did a whole thing. I was on here. We got Phasma on here to talk about it too on Rick's channel a while back when we were working on it. This one's catered a little more for a younger audience. I would say probably somewhere between late elementary school, early middle school, like right on that 10, 11 area, give or take a couple years in both directions. Which I definitely would not say is the target audience of X Dynamis Chaos. I would question you if you decided to give X Dynamis Chaos to a 10-year-old. I'd be like, no, bad. So this one will be black and white. I guess it's kind of, sort of manga. I don't really want to say it's manga style. It's kind of like Western cartoon with manga influence. It's just the way Phasma draws.
Well, I gotta
black and white.
Go ahead, finish.
Oh, what were you say?
Oh, I was gonna say. So what? Dumb question, or maybe not so dumb. What age group would you say mine would be? Well, most of Cross Comics.
Most of it?
Yeah, like, I guess I'm saying Canadian Shield 1, 2, 3, and then.
Yeah, I'm trying to think because like the upper end,
There's...
right? Like with Toxico, is probably like a big gauge for what the upper end is so far.
Yeah.
I'd probably say like right on that like late preteen area, you know, like right on the cusp of teen.
Well, if you
like,
don't
not
include
that it's rated teen, but that's the audience I would give it to.
Yeah. Well, like if don't include Toxico because the book Toxico, unless you're just referring to.
No, I'm talking about his appearance in the Canadian Shield is like the upper bound there.
Yeah. And hello, Flit. How are you? So, Flit. Oh, actually, I don't want to show Flit that. I want. He was talking about. I did change up things for the ash can. Comics.
Yeah, I'm just using his appearance in the Canadian Shield as the upper bound because I think that's the most graphic things have gotten so far.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'd say, and that's about my limit. Well, I think the Toxico book will definitely be a little higher, but I would put that as what you call it? Yeah, I would probably automatically put that one in team because I know it's a little bit more brutal
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, I think just general. Part of it too is language use. Um, not like rating wise, but the words used in it, right?
Yeah,
Difficulty of understanding. I probably wouldn't want to give your comics to somebody younger than 10. I think somebody. I mean, if me when I was younger than 10, I would probably understand. But I'm talking about like the average person. I don't
yeah,
think the average kid younger than 10 would probably understand what's going on in your comic. So
yeah,
I would probably go aim for that like late preteen, early teenage audience, probably.
yeah. But would you say it's family? Although they wouldn't quite get what's going on, would you say it's still family friendly enough? You know, for a younger.
Yeah, I think more or less. I mean, I would say like even with the rating I was giving like the Dreamscape Dilemma, the Dreamscape Dilemma is gonna be friendly enough to go down to like 5. I just don't think somebody that young will understand what's going on.
Yeah. Uh, Flit says they installed a flock camera on the country road just outside my town, and my reciprocating and I'm reciprocating saw is whispering to me like Green Goblin's mask. Massive Panda says
In
hello to
Willem
Flit.
Dafoe's
Flit.
voice too, I bet.
Massive saying hello to Flit. Flit saying hello to Panda. And Massive says that black and white on screen looks amazing. Yeah.
Well, that's Flitz.
And here's the new inside page.
Now you finally got everything layered the way you like it.
Yeah, what do you think it looks all right? Probably Zach
Still
Bradley
wait
could be
till
a
it
little
came
bit
up on
more.
YouTube. Yeah, it's all right. I
Was
don't have
that?
any problems with it.
Look at Flit's smiley face, blushing.
I'm not gonna say it's great. I think your name specifically doesn't stand out very well on the backdrop, if I have to be honest. Um, you know what could solve that? A drop shadow, just a very, very faint drop shadow. In fact, you know what? Why not drop shadows all around? Just make everybody look like they're floating above the page.
Uh, can I do it? Might not be able to do a drop shadow. Drop shadow. Well, let's
Does
see.
Clip Studio not have like blending mode options for the layer or like layer options?
Well, it
If
has
you right
layer
click the
option.
layer?
Yeah, but well, I guess I don't even actually need to select what you call it. I just
See, in Photoshop, it's super easy. All I do have to do is right click the layer, go to like blending modes or whatever it's called, and then a box pops up, and I could just go down and there's a drop shadow option, and I could just add a drop shadow that's in the perfect shape of the layer to anything. Preserves the transparency. I can
well, I
feather it
can.
out as much as I want, change the shape. It's super easy.
Yeah, well, I can create a layer and then just grab, I guess,
Yeah,
black.
well, the other way to do it, right? Duplicate the layer, lock it, take a black brush over the whole thing, unlock it, Gaussian blur.
Well, there's that, and then I
Or
was.
Gaussian blur if you prefer the more traditional pronunciation.
I was just thinking something like that. airbrush around it, which is sort of like a drop shadow.
Yeah, it just doesn't look as nice. That's the only problem. But it does make it pop from the background more. The problem is just like I think the issue initially is that the yellow, as it starts to get lighter and lighter to this like almost white color behind your name, in the very middle is about the same like vibrance and saturation, brightness, like the whole combination of the blue. The only thing that's different is if it's a different hue, but at a distance that does not pop. So it just looks like it's empty right there in the middle.
Okay.
The Flitz is critter similar, right click layer, layer style, all your options, including drop shadows. Yeah.
Okay.
Photoshop did it right, and everybody else should just steal it.
Okay, so I'm on. Continue.
The unfortunate thing is that Photoshop is actually, at least the older versions, I don't know what Creative Cloud's been doing, a really good program. You just have to deal with Adobe, which suddenly makes it a really bad program. So anybody who could just steal the good ideas from Photoshop and then you don't have to deal with Adobe is just like 100% improvement.
3D layer, 2D drop figure. Brightness, no. Layer mask, ruler, file, object. How did you say you do it on thing?
On Photoshop, typically there's like at the top, it might even be the same as it is in Crit, as Flit explained. It's either gonna say like blending options, layer style, something like that when you right click the layer. Flit though says Clip Studio Paint really doesn't have a drop shadow option. I haven't used in years, but I could swear it did. It might. You know,
Yeah.
Rick's looking for it.
Yeah, like I got new layer, Rasta, we don't really want that. New correction layer, brightness, hue, polarization, reverse gradient, level correction, tone. Maybe it's up in filter. We got
In,
blur,
like, drop downs.
blur, Gaussian blur, lens blur, motion blur, radial blur, smoothing, spin blur, correction, distort, effect, artistic, chrono, crystallization, mosaic, noise, normal, map, pencil drawing, remove, JPEG noise, retro film.
See, I asked Gemini. Gemini says you have to basically duplicate the layer, place the copy underneath, fill it in with the shadow color, shift position, and blur the edges, which is the other way I said I would have done it. Because Clip Studio does not have one-click layer style drop shadow button like Photoshop does. Specifically even mentioning Photoshop in there.
Okay, it's probably basically what I would have done. Create, do a layer below, expand it a little bit by maybe about 5, and then fill with black, although 5 does not seem to have done it. So let's, I'm gonna go 10.
Yep. Flit also went to look. and everybody's just saying the same thing. The duplicate layer method I mentioned as the alternative from the start, which is what
Yeah.
I used to do all the time. Sometimes I still do, because sometimes I'm looking for a very specific effect, and I want to be able to control the separate layer. But a lot of times, the fact that Photoshop has just drop shadow options solves so many things. Sometimes I'll just do a hard drop shadow. I'll make it bigger instead of doing like a stroke around everything, and then I'll just offset it slightly, and that's how I get like the variable, almost like line weight to my speech bubbles. Right, where you'll see like one side is a little thicker than the other, because it's actually just a drop shadow behind the whole thing. Because the cool thing about working in a 2D space with a flattened image at the end is it really doesn't matter how you get somewhere. It only matters what the final thing looks like.
I don't really like that look there.
It's a little slick.
I put it up 20. I'm just gonna do 5 because I was going inwards instead of outwards. Too.
Mhm.
Is that a little better? Or can you even see it?
That's fine. I think it just a little bit around was perfectly fine. It just wasn't sticking out from the background was the issue. Even like a 2-pixel stroke probably would have solved the problem instead of
That-
a full
That was 5.
drop shadow. Yeah, just like a slight stroke. Just anything that makes it not blend into the background.
That is 10. Do you... Yeah, I think 5.
Yeah. So it's one of the thing I really like about Clip Studio Paint was the tool that changes the line weight of vector lines. Yeah, I think that's like one of the big things about it though is that like Clip Studio doesn't have everything that Photoshop has because it's also trying to fill in the role of Illustrator at the same time, and it kind of has to like pick and choose what things it wants from both, because there just is not enough menu and memory in the program to have all of that stuff. It's the reason why Photoshop separates the two programs in the first place. Though I think a competent programmer probably could find a way to get everything in there. All of these programs are bloated as heck. They could be much lighter weight than they are and still do a lot of the same things.
Okay. That look better to you?
Yeah, I can see it now. That's the important part, you know.
Okay, so we need to save this as PNG. Actually, we need to do 2 things. Actually, I need to upload the new version into Global Comics. Can you change? With can you? Do you know if you can change?
Yes, you can change out individual page files.
Okay. Even if
Do
you
you
put
need
it
to
up
know
as
how?
Probably, but
Mhm.
now it's probably not a good time. I'm supposed to be doing. Well, you know what? I caught everything up to date. I put in a few extra colors. I've got a little bit of time before I. Well, probably, hopefully, by the time I come back, that last page 5 is finally done.
Yeah,
Uh,
Flitz's Krita has an amazing set of rulers that I'm surprised Photoshop doesn't have. Listen, I can tell you exactly why. I'm not surprised at all. Because Photoshop is the industry standard bloated mess that is so comfortable with how many people that use it because they don't even know of alternatives or how to use them, that they have no incentive to actually make their program better. Which is why I do so many things, so many things better in CS6 than a lot of people do in Creative Cloud now. The only thing I don't really have access to is the AI autofill options, and I don't use those anyway. But Krita is open source, so if anybody wants something cool, they can just add it to it. Isn't that great?
did you change the drop shadow blending mode to multiply? No. I could do that, I guess. And so,
Multiply is a very good blending mode, but it's also way overused. And I think it's because most people don't even know what the modes are doing. So they wouldn't even know what other ones to use for other things if they even wanted to.
it didn't seem to do a lot.
But for
at least
shadows, multiply is pretty good. So it's kind of like the way to go.
I switched the 2 layers to multiply and didn't seem to do much. At least as far as I
Because
could
you're
tell.
already working with black. You see, when you're working with black, there's nowhere mathematically for anything to go.
Let's resave that. Is it PNG? Let's export to PDF.
Tell you, most underrated blending mode, soft light. A nice, subtle, soft light addition to a lot of stuff. It can just make the changes that bring a whole thing, like whole composition together.
Do. And getting ready to go out with the wife. Brick, metal, flit. Have a nice weekend, and I hope you have a good time at Kingdom. Thanks, Massive.
I refuse to have a nice weekend, but you can have one if you want. I need to torture myself working on this rule set even more.
Oh,
It's actually a good thing you're going to be gone all week. I was trying to have everything like ready to make characters this week. And I might still, like, I might record Phasma and I making her character for the one shot, and have that like queued up on to like premiere or something on the EDK channel, and then we'll still do yours on stream afterwards, whenever you get
Yeah.
back. But it means I don't have to rush as much. I was going to try to cram it all this weekend. Because I have, I think, 3 things I need before characters can be done. I have to finish the general abilities list, which is only like halfway done.
Ah,
I have to finish the heritage chapter for the setting, which is kind of like character backstories and stuff like that. Or backgrounds and what perks you might get from being from different backgrounds. That's mostly roleplay stuff, but it's still important to get it done because it's a role-playing game. You got to have your roleplay stuff done.
Yeah.
And the entire equipment list for the setting. After those 3 are done, we can at the very least get characters rolled up.
Yeah.
And then after that, I just have to get the adventuring and combat chapters done. And that's the minimum we need for being able to run the campaign. Because that'll have things like certain roles, how things work in combat. Like it'll have the basic attack formula, stuff like that, right? It'll explain. There's a thing that you'll see in the manual. I don't know if anybody's been checking the manual out because a lot of it is just available on the site already. But there's a phrase that you'll probably keep seeing called zone of awareness that has not been explained anywhere in the manual at all. And you're like, what is my zone of awareness? That's in the adventuring section. So like, I do need to get both of those chapters done before we can play. But we can get characters rolled before those are done. Rick, why are we sideways?
This is for the home printing.
Oh, okay. I see what you're doing now. You're setting up for the fold of the ash can. Got it.
Yeah.
I'm watching on YouTube at the moment, so I'm like seconds behind or however long it takes. But yeah, if you get bored and you want something to look at, all of the vocation information's done, so all 9 vocations are available on the website. These will be the job system, the classes that you get to build out of. You can peruse them. You don't need to, because we're going to go over it all on stream when we build your character, but you can peruse them.
I don't think I probably perused those, but you know, I've perused a little bit of it. With all the different questions I asked you at one point.
Yeah.
And I
And I
figured,
will emphasize, while the characters, a lot of the guys, do already look very similar to Transformers prior to leaving Cybertron, you in their humanoid-looking shape, you would have to bring some type of advantage if you wanted them to turn into a vehicle.
or something.
Yeah, you would probably need
Yeah.
tension or something like that. Yeah.
Okay, so that is updated for when I.
I actually have some sample pictures of the races that I had Gemini whip up for me if you want me to send you those.
Sure. Mind if I show them on air or?
I don't care.
Okay. Hey, I'm just asking, you know,
I
make
mean,
sure before
yeah. Oh no, so nothing that's ever going to be like sold or anything is going to be at least for the books will be whipped up with AI, but I have absolutely no problem using it to make placeholder images, especially while I'm spending all this time like working on the book. Like we're gonna have a lot of placeholder images in the meantime.
Oh yeah, I get that, and as you know, I have no problem using AI for certain things. You know,
I
obviously,
mean,
like,
on paper, I have no problem with using AI for anything, but there are some things that I prefer to just be done by hand. Um, so, placeholder images.
Flit says, "Look at this Jag rubbing his happy marriage in all our stupid faces." I'm not sure what type of face that is. It's not a happy face, that's for sure. Yeah, and I'm slow. Actually, I'm not even how sure how far I've gotten on this, but I am in the middle of writing, of course. Um, the flame ash can as well. I think I've gotten like one page in. Maybe not even one page.
In fact, being restricted to how the AI interprets things.
Yeah, oh yeah. I'm only
Some
like,
of them look a little more like Autobots than I wanted them to, but hey, you know, is what it is.
did you send them yet? The pictures?
Oh no, I'm still. They're four different pictures. I need to actually find them. You know.
Yeah.
No, you know that this one's fine. I forgot there was
Uh,
one that where they kind of look like in between them and Gundams. And sent.
yeah, the flame
Take a
ash
little
can.
bit.
The flame ash can. I've only got 3 panels done so far. Page 1, panel 1. Aboard Alpha Omega 1 in the teleporter room. The flame beaming in. Panel 2. Flame. Computer, you'll have to be at a specific spot to do a voice recording. Computer. No, you do not need to be at a specific spot to make a recording. Panel 3. Flame. Good. Where would be a good recording spot? Computer. Maybe the quarters you have aboard the station. Flame. Flame. I wasn't asking you. I was thinking out loud, darn computer. Computer. Sorry, my apologies.
Is Joshua still doing the cover for the Flame?
Don't think so. Was he ever supposed to do a cover for the Flame? I don't remember
I don't
that.
know. What's asking? So
Oh,
this is news to me. So.
news to me. No, we have a cover that I'm going to be doing. We have a cover that Raul did. Well, he drew it, and then somebody else colored it already. And then we have the cover that Flyfox Pro did for it when he was supposed to be drawing up the flame. So, no cover by Joshua. You sent me one, I think.
No, I sent you all four as a single message. These are basically like just a quick race profile picture. We're racially profiling here, but it also kind of shows the capital city of like their civilizations or whatever.
Create new from clipboard.
Flint says, I'm trying to meme it into reality to get Joshua out of his black pill doom spiral. Well, if Joshua ever wants to do a guest piece for X Time is Chaos, anything at all, I'd be glad to host it.
Yeah, heck, I'd love to see him do maybe since I got a bunch of covers already for number one of the Flame, maybe an Insecto fan art piece, fan art cover as I call it. And also because, number one, Canadian Shield, as far as I'm concerned, had a fan art cover with Dillerts. Although you could call it an inker cover too, but uh and then of course Snowdrift had the fan art cover for the first one with Elrix. So here's well, I'm not sure whether it's the first image you sent me. Copy.
The first one I sent you should be the Ninlay, which are like basically the local humans of that setting.
Oh, okay, well, I got them a little bit out of order then somehow.
Oh, that's the one. That's the one you were most interested in. Is the Gorole, and so these are your robot people. Basically, their backstory was that eons ago, there was an actual biological civilization that made automatons, but that civilization has passed so long ago that they just they don't even know anymore. Like nobody really knows who made them, and they've just been kind of around doing their thing. And I've got reasons as to why it's beneficial that they have male and female form. I just don't want to explain it right now. Because I actually had to sit there and figure out, like, how could I justify them being like the Phantasy Star caste race, where like all the men look like just like big bulky machines, but the women can still look very mechanical, but also look very feminine as well. Which there's some advantages to looking very feminine to other races. So they're embodied AI functionally.
Let's see.
Kino City, yeah, that's on the Ninlay one. It says Kino City. That's actually the city you'll be taking place in. The one shot. It is the capital of Lupsus, which is the starting place of the setting, and it is the planet of like the human species.
Yeah, let's see. Flint says the story features racial profiling. Go on. And then he says, laugh out loud. Fantasy Star vibes was my first thought.
Oh yeah. The setting is very very Phantasy Star. It's not just Phantasy Star, but it started with Phantasy Star, and I started building. There's also quite a bit of Starship Troopers to it, a little bit too. And a few other things, but it's very taking Phantasy Star as a starting point and branching off from there.
I take it this is the human one?
Yes. The one with the Kino City like water tower thing there. With all those are basically our humans. They're called the Ninlay. All the names actually come from their language. Aside from that, most things are localized to English because, man, would it be difficult if I tried to run a setting entirely in a fictional language. I'd have to make up for it.
Yeah, especially with us understanding. Oh, Joshua says, I've been watching videos about good art composition and learning about the role of thirds and Fibonacci sequence.
Fibonacci.
And here is...
Yeah, the setting is called Kurgle Space. Kurgle is the name of the Alliance. It was originally the name of the star system that the human race came from. And they met these other races out while exploring space. So far, they've been able to make an alliance with 3 mostly friendly races. I say mostly because the Akule, which is the fiend-looking race, they had to basically win them over. They just kept attacking them at first. But they eventually won them over. Especially when they introduced them to guns. They really liked guns. Guns were cool. But there's a lot of aggressive ones out there.
This
Typhon,
looks like
that's,
a more
the-
scullery type aliens.
Oh yeah, this is the Yole. Those are basically your elves. That's your elven race.
This is your fiendish
have-
race.
Yeah, so dude, the AI was so mean with that one because they just kept they kept giving them pointing ears, and you could even see in one of them like there's still like a remnant of a pointy ear that didn't go away right away. I had to like feed the image back in and tell them to get rid like round the ears out because that race is not supposed to have pointed ears. But they kept trying to turn them into like horned elves. I'm like, they're not supposed to be a dark elf race though. They're supposed to be like fiendlings.
Oh, maybe they're just thinking demonic too, you know, with the horns.
Yeah, yeah. But it's supposed to be because there's a fiendling-like race in Phantasy Star. Though I decided to go further away. You could give them colored skin in the game, but they basically, most of them are pale. They look like humans, but with horns on their heads, right? And typically they'll have like 2 different color eyes. I'm like, nah, I need to go further than that. I don't like that. We're gonna give them like different, more saturated colored skin. These guys are, they tend to live in like the shadowy areas, cracks and crevices, where their cities are functionally underground, but some sunlight still comes in.
Cool.
Also, they couldn't get the signs right. That was making me mad too. They don't have an alphabet prior to like the Ninlay contacting them. They basically write in hieroglyphs or something more akin to like emojis, right? They have like almost an entire like emoticon system, and they're like they kind of got it. Some of like the things almost look like it, but it's like no, we're gonna give them Asian looking letters. They got it right on the robot one though, on the Gorale, where I was like, all of their stuff is basically written in binary, but instead of like zeros and ones, it's vertical and horizontal dashes. And they were able to understand that more or less. They just couldn't get almost anything right with the Finglings. It took quite a bit of like rerunning images through there.
Yeah. It's stupid. What can we say?
Yeah.
AI. For being smart, it's really artificial, unintelligent.
Yeah, it's just fast. That's the only thing, which is why like it's good for placeholder images. But eventually, I'll just go in and actually draw everything by hand. That for like the actual print book, because we will print the manual after we're done with the beta, after we have like a version 1 of it finalized. I kind of want it to be more like classical, like inked fantasy art, like the stuff you'd find in older D&D books and stuff anyway. So it's like, I really don't want to try with a machine with that. I'm just going to have to do it myself.
Yeah.
But for these like pseudo PC engine, like PC 98 images, as long as you don't zoom in so much and see how noisy they are, they actually do it pretty well. Like they get the style down pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely looking pretty good. I can't wait to probably, well, not next week, but probably in maybe 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. Get on it.
Hopefully. Sometime next month. Hopefully we can literally start sometime next month.
Yeah, I want to get
While I'm
this.
getting the adventuring down, I will also be working on the one-shot document at the same time.
So have you got Finn? Have you got everybody you want for? Is the roster full for the one shot or not?
Right now, It's potentially full, but only 2 of the people are locked in.
Me and
Phasma.
Phasma.
Yeah.
And who else do you possibly have?
So Phasma and our buddy Doc, is probably going to be in it. He just has
Okay.
to check his schedule, which I told him it's like, well, 1, it's a one shot, so you only have to commit to the one thing, and 2, everyone's checking their schedule. So he's probably going to be in it. He was in the same campaign because I told you like all the people that I'm letting into like the one shot in the early campaigns are people from 2 different Final Fantasy campaigns, the one you were in and then one I was also running for them, whose campaigns basically got canceled on them due to other players no longer being able to play. So Doc is on the roster.
Yeah.
And there is a slight possibility for Buck, but I don't know if that's happening, so we might end up having an opening. Technically, the opening was for Flit, but Flit kind of made it clear when we asked him before that he just doesn't have like the mental fortitude for that anymore. At least that's what I was getting from what he was describing. I would still prefer him to play. Buck's a little busy right now. When I was talking to him, he's like, yeah, maybe a later, longer campaign after things clear up. He doesn't mind missing the first one shot.
Yeah. Well, my buddy, JC Posh that you see in the chat, and you've talked with him off air a couple times. He would be interested if you've got an opening.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I just got to see if there are openings.
Yeah. Well, that's why I was asking whether the roster was full or however you wanted to put it.
I mean, could always. He can't do a long campaign anymore, but I might be able to squeeze Marsupil in for just a one shot. He might be able to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, one Sunday or something like that.
Yeah. Speaking of Buck, he messaged me. That was nothing important. Nothing to do with this, unfortunately.
Flit says, ooh, kicked from the campaign before it even began. Sort of
Listen,
a sad face.
the offer's there. You were the one making it sound like you didn't want to be in it. If I can string you into it, I'll string you into it.
Yeah, there is no way. There's no way that you would get involved. So we got a little bit more done on this today. We got a little bit more filled in this panel. Still got a heaven of a lot to go. I don't know what I'm going to do with half of it. I don't know what I'm going to do with 3/4 of it. Just to make...
Well, if it helps, actually, it's just to tell Flit, if it helps, you do not have to worry about map combat. At all. We will not be doing gridded map combat. Actually, Rick, you could bring up the picture I sent you like a day or two ago, which was like the sample view of the Roll20 if you wanted. To just show them like what the view will actually be. It is all going to just be RP and rolls. That's it.
Okay. Copy. Hopefully this is the right image.
It's the one that should look like it has Roll20. I only sent you one image that looks like it. The link to the Roll20 campaign was like attached to the image.
Oh, okay.
It should be the image that's like in the same text as the link I sent you. Yes, that one. Where I put a sample character in there. There's 4 slots because the one shot's going to just have 4 characters. I literally made like a little HUD that's going to look like you guys are sitting in like a PC 98 game, and I'll change out different things, and you'll be able to see your like life, your HP, TP, and SP bars at all times, and it's
Yeah.
all just going to be discussion and rolls. That's it. You don't have to think about like you could say your character's moving, I don't know, 5 meters to your left or something like that. That's fine, right? I'll probably have a drawn map on a hidden page that you guys can't see, so I can keep track of things. But you guys don't have to keep track of anything, really, unless you want to take notes. But there's not having to worry about that. It's just going to be classic theater of the mind, and I will have some visuals up for you.
Alpha puts a shrugged shoulders thing that says, Flit says Rick, that Japanese saying, I'll say, is basically Japanese equivalent of c'est la vie. In other words, what will be, will be. Flit says, if I could play a low IQ character, perhaps I could dismiss my performance as method acting and refuse to break character.
You could. In this system, you could play a non-combat character. It's an entire option. So you like my system's built around that you could be like anywhere in between like a normal RPG character, but you could be like from basically a superhero all the way down to supporting cast and still be involved. Like there are things for like morale boosts and stuff to where you could functionally be a cheerleader in battle without having to be the combatant. It's a very flexible system. And not every one shot I write will even necessarily be combat heavy. Some of them might not have any mandatory combat at all. I say mandatory because, like, listen, if the murder hobos pick a fight, there's not really anything I can do about it, you know. But I think you know, I'm not gonna say I don't want to spoil whether this one has like planned combat or not, but not every single one I write will have mandatory combat. But this is functionally what you'll see.
Cool. Well, it's that time again. Anything you would like to promote besides your this thing, which we've been talking about?
I'm going to promote this. Actually, let me go get a link to the TTRPG section of the website at xdynamuschaos.com.
Okay.
Get to my website. Oh my god, it didn't actually copy my website.
Foot says the actual truth is it's just that public speaking makes me nervous, and I don't want that to hinder other people's enjoyment of the campaign.
Oh, don't worry about that. But first off, you were, I think I've told you this before, the audience's favorite player in the campaign that we ran. So, actually, that might be bad. That might raise the expectations of you, but I think it's just chill, you know, just come in and play. I promise you, you will not be the dumbest person playing the game. Especially, he'll acknowledge this himself if Doc ends up being one of the people.
I was gonna say, especially if I'm playing, right?
Oh, well, I mean, there's that too, but I was actually gonna put Doc even lower than you. I think right now, Fast was like, oh my god, I'm gonna have to play a competent character. I'm gonna have to carry this, aren't I? I'm like, no, chill. It's an intro one shot. It's meant for beginners. You don't have to sweat. It's gonna be. It's possible you could die in it, but it's gonna be. You're gonna have to play exceptionally bad to die in this one shot.
Yeah, it will definitely be Interesting. Yeah, and you're leveling us up to level 5, I think you said, or something like that, automatically.
Yeah, you're gonna be level 5. It's a level 5 one shot. Um, Everybody else can pick whether they want to roll an experienced level 5 character or if they want to just make a level 1 character and then we do the rolls up to 5. For you, though, because we're going to be making the character on stream, we're going to be making a level 1 character and then we're going to be manually leveling it up to 5.
Yeah.
So people can see that process.
Yeah. Flit says, you won't be the dumbest person playing. Is that a challenge? If it'll get you to play, yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, okay. Well, there's the link to the rule shot of the rules and all that.
Well, it's the whole TTRPG section. You can find
Yeah.
the pages that are done for the player's manual in there and the pages that are currently done for the settings guide in there too. I have to separate it that way because part of the point of this tabletop game is that over time more and more settings will be added, and I
Yeah.
do have a big surprise once enough people are playing the game with those settings, but we need to get to that point first.
Yeah. Well, again, thank you coming on as always, Metal. It's been great talking with you as usual. And thanks everybody in the chat for coming by. It's been good doing this, chatting with everybody. Was able to get a little bit done. We were able to show off a little bit of stuff. So we will see you probably in just under a week, or maybe it will be a week. I don't know. I'm not sure whether I'll do anything Thursday when I get back, or whether, or it might be over a week because if I'm working the Saturday that I get back, I won't be doing this stream. That's for sure. In the morning, I'll be going to work. So,
Yeah,
anyways,
and then, church on Sunday, so then it's like it won't be Monday until anybody sees you again.
yeah. Although I might try and do a couple small little live streams or do a couple short videos down in Darien Lake.
Yeah,
or
I'm sure
whatever.
we'll get some short form content, just like when you're at conventions and stuff.
Yeah. So, anyways, catch everybody later. God bless. Have a great and wonderful day, night, whatever it might be for